Hey there, welcome to my channel. I'm Taleecia Stonestreet, and today I'm going to be sharing with you how alternate day fasting has completely changed my relationship with food. So let's get right into it. So basically, last week I kind of came to a realization, just looking back on how I used to be and addressing my eating habits. I know for sure that I had an eating disorder called binge eating disorder. Of course, at the time, like my whole life, I did not know that I had this. I knew that my eating habits weren't normal, but I didn't know that I had binge eating disorder, and I didn't even realize it until, like I said, last week. But I know that I had it, and I'm gonna kind of like share with you how I kind of figured out, like looking back at how I used to be and my relationship with food back then to compared to how it is now that I've been alternate day fasting. So yeah, I'm just gonna like tell you kind of how I used to be and what I used to think was like okay. So basically, like some of the things, I don't think I'll be able to get to like all of them. This video would be way too long because there are so many like things that I did, and anyways, I'm just going to share with you some of the things that just come to mind off the top of my head and that really stand out to me, and how I used to look at food. So like one of the things that I used to do that to me like just this like kind of stands out to me, when I would go out with friends like in high school, and we'd go out to a restaurant to eat, and even like not just in high school, after high school, but anyways, when I would be out at a restaurant with people, I thought it was absolutely crazy that people would send their food away, send their plate away with food still left on it. Like to me, that was like, why would you do that? There's food on the plate, it's so good, like you need to finish your food. Like to me, I always like felt like, one, I had to finish my food, like just had to. Like first of all, I hated wasting, like I'm just don't like wasting things, but secondly, like in my mind I'm like, oh, it's so good, like I might not be able to get this later, even though like I knew that I could, but it was like, oh, you don't go out very often, or you don't, whatever it was, like in my head, like I felt like I needed to eat all the food that was on my plate, even if I wasn't hungry at all, like even if I was so full after eating half my sandwich, you know. And for some reason, like if I couldn't finish the food on my plate, like I've eaten so much to the point where I'm just like so sick, my stomach's hurting, but there was still food left on my plate, I had to take it in a box. I had to, so that I could eat it later. It doesn't matter if it wasn't gonna be that great later, if it like, I just felt like I needed to eat it, like meh. So that's like one of the first things that comes to mind. So secondly, what I think of looking back on how I used to view food, I literally, so binge eating disorder, sorry, I should have said this at the beginning, basically is where you binge eat all the time. Like I think it says on, when I looked it up, like normally people, you know, will binge eat over the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, like, oh, I ate too much, I don't feel good. Like most people do that. To me, this was like an almost pretty much everyday thing. Like I would eat to the point where I physically did not feel okay. Like my stomach would hurt. I had this little like after dinner routine going on where I literally would eat dinner. I would eat so much that my stomach would hurt. I would have to go lay on the couch for like half an hour in pain. Like my stomach would hurt. Like that was just normal. Like anytime I had dinner, like everybody like knew, oh, she ate too much, she's gonna go lay on the couch. Like that's just what I did. Like that's what I did. I don't know. Another thing that I did was I always felt the need to, one, fill my plate up as freaking full as possible, like to the max, because in my mind I had this weird like thing going on where I thought that I wouldn't be able to get any more if I don't fill my plate up as much as possible right now. And then even after eating the first full plate of food, and that's like, people like, I know like would always ask me like, you know, you can get seconds, right? Like you don't need to fill your plate so full, you can come back for seconds, like there's plenty. And in my mind, like I knew I could get seconds, like don't worry, I'm planning on it. But I still wanted to fill my plate to the max, like completely, like can't fit any more food on it, take it to the dinner table, eat the whole entire plate of food, be completely full where my stomach's already starting to hurt. But then I would still go back for seconds. I would still go back for seconds and get some more food, like most of the time, almost all the time. That's like, especially if I ate dinner at other people's houses, at my boyfriend's grandparents' house or his parents' house or my parents' house, like overeating was completely normal to me all the time. Like if there was extra food, I felt like I needed to eat it. Another thing, I think that like overeating kind of became like part of my personality. Like I took that in for some reason and thought I was like cool because of it, even though that doesn't really like make any sense. But I was the person that could eat a lot. Like I would eat more than my brother a lot of times, who was 2 years older than me and a teenager. And I mean I was a teenager too, but like teenage boys eat a lot, and I would like eat more than him, and I'd eat more than like all my friends. I would eat more than, you know, like everybody, and I just thought I was cool for it. As soon as I would go to someone's house, like the first place I would go is the fridge, and they would ask, oh, are you hungry? Do you want something to eat? And in my mind, it's like, heck yeah, another opportunity to eat. Yeah, let's do it. Like, even though I'm not hungry at all, like to me, I just loved to eat all the time and like make myself uncomfortable. I don't know why. Couldn't tell you specifically why, or yeah, I couldn't tell you why, but I was like the person that ate a lot, number one, like that was me. And then I just, yeah. So basically, if you don't know, my boyfriend and I decided to move to Washington, and we were staying at an Airbnb while we were looking for a place to live. And he had some friends over one night, and I mentioned this in my first video about alternate day fasting, how I had this cotton candy flavored cereal that I was eating. Well, this was my like turning point, I guess. Basically that day I had already eaten, you know, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and it was kind of like later at night, and I was having like a late night snack or whatever, and I wanted to eat some of that Captain Crunch cereal. And so I went and I made a bowl of cereal, and then I, you know, had seconds because it tasted good and I wanted to eat it. So then I went to pour a third bowl of cereal, and my boyfriend walked in the kitchen, and he like looked at me and he's like, oh, you're eating another bowl of cereal? Like, not being rude or anything, he wasn't like implying anything by it. He just like asked me like, oh, you're getting another bowl of cereal? And I like looked at him and I'm like, yeah, I guess you're right, I'm not really hungry, I'll just like put it away, like I already had 2 bowls, whatever. So I put the cereal away. So him and his friends left to play basketball, and I just instantly got this thought in my head, like, I can go eat more cereal and nobody will know. Not that he was even like paying attention to that, like, but in my mind I was like, ooh, like I'm gonna go eat some more. So I went in the kitchen and I ate like 3 or 4 more bowls, like as fast as I could, like chowed them down, like so gross. I ate so much of that stuff, and it was just like, I don't know, I just got this like I need to eat, like took over me. And so I ate all that food, and I went back in the bedroom, and I was like laying there, and I just remember feeling so gross. Like, one, I felt horrible, like physically, like I did not feel good at all. I had so much junk in my body and so much food, like from overeating and all the milk and sugar and like whatever else I ate that day. I just like had so much food in my body, and I just like physically was feeling gross. Like mentally I was feeling gross. I'm like, why the heck did I just do that? Like, what, like that's not like normal. Why did I do that? Like, why did I just go like scarf down all this cereal when I know I'm not hungry? So then I kind of started looking up some things, and basically I found Rachel Sharp's video, decided to try alternate day fasting because I wanted to lose weight. That was like my main goal at the time, lose weight. And so yeah, I was like, you know, I can do this. I can do alternate day fasting. I can still eat whatever I want. Like, it's not going to be that hard. All I have to do is like skip a day of eating every other day. And so I decided to start right after that. I said, you know, like right now I'm starting. So I started fasting, and yeah, like just started going. There was no turning back at that point. So basically, as I started alternate day fasting, I was not eating healthy at all at the beginning. I was still, you know, eating fast food. We were still kind of like in the process of moving, so I wasn't cooking hardly at all. I was eating fast food all the time, but I still was only eating every other day. I was sticking with alternate day fasting. So I was eating junk food. I was just, you know, yeah, but I was still doing the fasting. And then, you know, we found a place, and we kind of both had decided we wanted to start eating healthier and feeling better. And so slowly I started making changes in our eating habits. Yeah, just started making decisions to, you know, get rid of unhealthy things, start eating a lot healthier. And I mean, it was like a slow process. It's not like I did anything like crazy, like I was just like eating healthy, but eventually I cut out dairy. I mean, like not like 100%, like I still occasionally, like we use Parmesan cheese every once in a while, but I switched to almond milk. So I was no longer drinking any milk. I didn't buy cheese. I don't buy cheese. I don't buy bread. We don't eat sugar most of the time. I mean, like we have like cheat days or, you know, special occasions where every once in a while we'll eat something. But overall, like, you know, we don't have any sugar besides like natural sugars from fruit and maple syrup and honey, but even then it's like limited. So basically I started eating a lot healthier. I cut out red meat. I don't eat any red meat. I mean, and it's not like I'm against any of these foods. It's not like I intentionally just said like, you know, like I want to not eat these and only eat these. It's just like kind of like, yeah, gradually I just started eating healthier and making healthier choices. And I knew that kind of starting to not eat as much of those certain foods would help. And it eventually, yeah, like I said, I just don't buy stuff that I don't want to be eating basically now. And so we kind of just are forced to eat healthier because I just refuse to buy stuff I don't want to be eating, except for occasionally. You know, it's not like I restrict myself. If I want something, I'll have it. But to me, I don't really want to have like sugar all the time. So yeah, like I just become so much healthier overall with my eating. But yeah, I'm gonna just like share maybe some of the things like now how I view food that is completely different from how I used to view food. So like nowadays, anytime we go out to eat, I am completely okay with like sending food away. Even if like for my birthday breakfast, we went to IHOP this weekend and I got an omelet with a side of cinnamon roll pancakes and it was super yummy. But I get full so fast nowadays doing the alternate day fasting. I literally couldn't eat hardly any of my food. Like I ate like the inside of my pancakes out because that was like the best part and I knew I wasn't gonna be able to eat that much. And then like a few bites of my omelet, I was like so full. Send it away and get rid of it. Like I don't, like to me that's, I know that might sound really stupid to some of you, but like I would have never ever sent any plate away without any food on it. I was always like the person that like, if I was with even like, if you're my like close friends or family, like I would like, they would be like, oh, can I take this plate? I'd be like, oh no, I'm gonna finish their fries. Like I didn't know you were done with that. Here, give me that. Like I would want to finish everybody else's food, even though I was completely full. And I don't know, so like that's a huge difference. I'm like totally okay with food going in the trash can. And you know, if you're like all against food waste, I'm sorry that I'm telling you this, but like to me that's such a big difference in where I used to be. Even at home, like throwing food away. I'm okay with throwing food away. I would rather throw it away than make myself eat it and not feel good. Like, to me, that's such a better option. So like that's one of the things that I've noticed. Another thing is, yeah, like I said, I get full so much faster. I like actually listen to my body now when it comes to eating. Like on my eating days, I literally get full so fast. Like when I eat breakfast, like the other day I had oatmeal for breakfast. I ate oatmeal and I literally was full like all day long until like dinner, and even at dinner I wasn't that hungry, so I didn't eat that much. So I'm like now able to like listen to my body and just eat when I'm hungry on my eating days, not based on like there's food so you need to eat it, or Hunter's eating so you need to eat. Like I'm actually listening to my body, paying attention to like, yeah, when I'm hungry and feeding it nutrients that it needs. I'm eating healthier and getting good things in my diet. So that's like the biggest thing. Like nowadays I am just, yeah, eating when I'm hungry and paying attention to what my body's telling me. So ultimately, alternate day fasting helped me overcome an eating disorder that I didn't even realize that I had at the time. I just knew that, I mean, like back in the day I knew that my eating habits were not normal. Like I knew everybody else didn't like overeat all the time. I knew that like I was eating differently, but I didn't like think anything was wrong with it, obviously, or I would have changed something, or at least tried to change something. For the most part, like I said, I finally got to the point where I was like, okay, this is disgusting and I need to do something. But basically, yeah, alternate day fasting has completely changed my view on food. I am so much happier and healthier now. I actually want to eat healthier foods, and I don't want to eat like unhealthy foods. I mean, obviously, like sometimes I will, like I said, for my birthday, you know, there's some things that just sound good, and you know, you enjoy life and whatever, but overall I'm just so much healthier and happier, and alternate day fasting is 100% the reason for that. So yeah, if you have not heard of alternate day fasting or you want to know more about it, like look into it. It's worth trying. If you have an eating disorder, you should probably see someone about that. I don't know anything. Like I said, this was just self learning, kind of realizing that I had a really horrible relationship with food back in the day, and now it's like completely changed like in a few months. Like I haven't been doing this that long. It's literally only been a few months, and it's like going so good. Like my life is going great right now. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you next time.